Oh yeah, you can bring him up. Bring it up. Bring everything up. Thank you, John. Appreciate it, buddy. I'm on. Okay, I'm gonna tell him. I was gonna tell him I'm on. Just come on in because he'll be knocking at the door soon. Just bringing everything up. But I want to talk about that fight. Netflix, big show. This was to walk in that stadium and to see all of those people and the excitement that Mike Tyson still gives people. He's my age, 58 years old. It was pretty incredible to see how much people love him. It's so funny because Mike's path hasn't been the straight path. You know, he certainly has some peaks and valleys, like myself, but people gravitate towards him. And, you know, they know he has that ruthless uppercut, which I never saw him throw in the fight, which makes me think something's up. How can Mike Tyson not throw an uppercut? That's like me playing a football game and not running a slant route. You know what I mean? It's born. It's what we do. It's what I do. He didn't throw one uppercut, so I'd imagine. I saw somebody else talking about this, that they said that was in the contract that he couldn't throw an uppercut. And I would imagine Jake Paul, that's smart if he put that in there. I have seen Mike Tyson destroy people with that uppercut. And I believe if you allowed him to throw it just once or twice in that fight, it could have been over. But a lot of people kind of talking about they got robbed, ripped off, and everything. It was a beautiful evening. It was a beautiful evening. And I'm going to say this, guy, those two fights before that fight was incredible. That women fight, that fight was spectacular. The one woman had an eye hanging off her head and still fighting. Got headbutted a couple times in this challenge, and she lost the fight, which some believe she won the fight and should have won the belt because the champion should have got penalized from all those headbutts. But I got to give those girls nothing but props, boy. In the middle of this thing that we are experiencing with this rise in women's sports. John, come on in, John. Come in. This experiencing this rise in women's sports. To have that kind of performance on that stage at that time with so many people, 50, 60 million people tuned in was incredible. I thought that was so great. That was a main event, co-main event with a women co-main event, and the fight was incredible. Now, the Jake Paul-Mike Tyson fight, you know, Mike came out and gave a few swings early on. I thought, when I saw him walking out, I said, boy, Mike's serious. I saw that old, I'm going to hurt you, Mike Tyson. I will hurt you. Remember that Mike Tyson that said, I will hurt you, eat your children, and make you like, oh, I saw some of that in Mike Tyson coming out. But that's still too fast in that ring. I know I'm 58 years old, and there's some activities that I engage in sometimes, and working out or, you know, doing some activity, and I'd be like, whew, that chest, you know, the wind, the pipes, just not the same as it was when I was 20 to 28, now that I'm 58. So that thing gets tough, struggling to breathe over there. That was a whole different thing. You could tell from about the second round on, Mike had nothing left. He had nothing left. And then Jake kind of caught him a couple of times, and he stumbled. Jake hit him a couple of times. He stumbled. And I believe Jake led up late in the fight. Like around that 8th round, he could have really taken Mike out, but he led up. And, you know, I like that he led up. I thought he clearly saw that he could take Mike out, and he didn't take him out of respect. And, man, you know, I'm just worried he'd get hurt at 58, 60 years old, getting knocked out like that, having a concussion, getting hit too many times. So I was happy. And Mike Tyson made him $20 million. Everybody arguing about that. Let Mike take that 20. Take that 20, man. You've given us so many great times, buddy, and you still brought us together in a great way when the country is so divided, because we just went through all of that election stuff and somebody happy, somebody not happy, and somebody. So now we had a great time to come back together and have a great time. And Mike Tyson and Jake Paul did that. I want to give love to Jake Paul here, not for just how he handled that situation in the end with Mike Tyson, but for also being a pioneer and injecting an incredible hack into this boxing thing. Because all of these, we never get great events in boxing because WBC, all of these different belts and divisions, nobody ever get the champs, get great fights. Jake Paul has given us some great events. And he's making a boatload of money. A lot of professional boxers that have gone the regular route won't make anywhere near the money that he's been making. So I got to give him props. He's a Frank Sinatra, is what I call him. I call guys like him, call him Sinatra. Guys like Deion, that's a Sinatra. Frank Sinatra, the song, I did it my way. It's not the way everybody else did it. It's his way. That's what Jake Paul has done. He did it his way. Deion Sanders, he's doing it his way. They're not going conventional routes, but they still get right where they need to be. Speaking of Deion Sanders, let me transition because I spent that Friday night with Jerry Jones at that fight. And then I spent all day Saturday with Deion at his game in Colorado and got a chance to talk with him after that game. I know you guys have seen, put out for the locker room some of the travels over that weekend. But when I was talking with Jerry there, because I told Jerry, I said, 30 years ago, buddy, it was 30 years ago this year that we were both recruiting Deion Sanders. That's when he brought me into office. Deion was with the 49ers, and he said, hey, I was doing a new deal. And he said, man, I got to talk to you about this deal because we have a chance of getting Deion Sanders. He said, well, I'm spending some money to get him, but I wanted to run it by you guys and how you think he would fit. I said, what? How do you think? What do you mean? I said, man, this is really John. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. I said, what? What do you mean how it would fit? Great. Get Deion here? He said, yeah, we're working on it. I'm talking with him. Nobody knows. I need you to put that final push in and get it done. I said, oh, okay, no doubt. I guarantee you, I will make that. I'll make that phone call. So that's how I started calling Deion, telling Deion. And back then, man, you know what Dallas is? You multiply San Francisco by 10, you may scratch the surface of Dallas. I need you to come to town this weekend. I brought him to town, and we had a party. I told everybody I need them to come and help me convince Deion Sanders to join the Dallas Cowboys, and everybody came out. It was a mega party. I want to do it again 30 years later. I want to do it again 30 years later and see if we can see if this thing can happen again. Now, here's the kick. I know. And every time when I talk to Deion, and he's always talking about my calling is to the kids. My callings are to the kids. My calling is for the kids. I got to get the kids. It's about the kids. About the kids. And he is. But the opportunity to go with it, if you get a double dipper, and the Cowboys look like they're going to be in that. They're going to be drafting real soon, real early. Then it comes down to, well, you got a Shador. Do you go and get a Travis Hunter? Do you go get a Gentry? Who do you go and get to try to turn that thing to the right place? I said I wouldn't mind if you have a plan like you said. Okay, we got that first pick. There's no position more important than the quarterback position. If you can get a Shador and bring his dad with him, because I know that's the one thing that a real a father like Deion, father like that can never turn down being with his son. You know what I mean? and quarterback with his son at quarterback, and he's a coach. So that's why I tossed it out there, because I know how much he loves being with his son. I know how much they love being together. And another thing, guys, people always talk about working with Jerry, and you think Jerry and Deion can work together. And Jerry and Deion are very close. And with every other coach, all the stuff that Jerry does is a distraction. With every other coach, because they're coaches. They're just coaches. Deion is a mentor that's coaching. They are coaching. They are coaches forced to mentor. They don't want to mentor. They just want to coach ball. Deion is in every aspect of the kid's life. That's mentorship, you see. So it makes a difference when the kid hits the field. These young men now, I was telling Key, and we talked about it on the show today, you can't play a hammer over them. Do what I tell you, we're going to get it done. We're going to do it, I'm going to cut you, and you'll never play again. Jimmy Johnson, that stuff worked in our years because we were just getting to the surface and making good money. And nobody wanted to lose those jobs. But these kids have been making good money since college. So you can't scare them with broke. And they're coming in with bigger numbers and bigger contracts, so you can't scare them with broke. So the hammer doesn't work. The hand is what works. And all the coaches, the Belichick's, and even the Nick Saban in college, they carried the hammer on the sidelines. All the coach, the hands out the hand and say, let me mentor you. Those are the coaches that are getting the jobs. A lot of people in Colorado, I know, upset at me that I brought this up, and they're killing and coming at me. Michael, leave Deion alone, leave Deion alone. Success brings people. Colorado, you're seeing it. You know, Miami is seeing it. I tell people that. After, if it's not Deion, after Mario Cristobal wins a natty this year in Miami, maybe he does a Jimmy Johnson. You know what I'm saying? And come on over here and do some things for Dallas. Either one of those guys I'll take, because they're both builders, and no matter where they take the team, they always make it better. I said that about Deion years and years ago. No matter where he goes, no matter what he touches, he will always leave it better than he found it. Mario Cristobal is another one. And I'm just saying, for the Dallas Cowboys, we need somebody like that. Let me get some of you guys here right here talking about this, because I see Jimmy in here saying, I think that's what they're doing, going to draft Sanders and be Coach Prime, bring in Coach Prime. I guess that's what he means by that. Man, it would be insane now, because I'm saying, when you look at it, dog, when you look at it, if they do that next year and try to come off that they could, it'll be $150 dead cap hit. And then after that, I think the number went down to 90-something or 60-something like that. But I know that first year, next year. But I wouldn't want that to be gone that first year. I would want that to stay on and let Shador get as much as he can that year behind him, or the year or two behind him. So now you can possibly get back in the fight right now, make a few big plays, make a few plays for some players and some guys in the offseason, while you still have a chance to win now, and then Shador in a year or two can take over after getting a year of watching what the NFL is all about. I think that'll be a smooth transition, you know. And it gives the Dallas Cowboys a chance to win next year and in the next few years. It's kind of going back to that now and later comment that I talked about all times. You know what I mean? North of the board, please get Prime to Dallas. I promise you. I'm going to try. Don't tell nobody, though. Just keep that between us. You see what I'm saying? What else we got? What else out there, man? Want to talk about it? Did you know? Did you and Jerry have a talk? Yeah, yeah. Of course, I talked with Jerry. Jerry's very focused. Jerry was trying to stay off of that conversation, and I understand. He said, "Mike, we got to focus on right now. We got to straighten the ship out right now. That's the only thing I gonna focus. I'm gonna focus on." Yeah, but the GM focus on the now and later. You know, so it's okay to put a thought out in the ether about a near future and everything. But yeah, yeah, it's exciting. That's exciting. And everybody's talking about it. And people are asking me now, is it unfair at the time and his recruiting and everything? This is what success does. It brings people to you. Everybody's coming to Colorado because of that success. So yeah, I put a lot of that stuff that I went on those trips. You guys saw it on the channel. So I'm learning those things. It's kind of funny. I'm the last person wanting anybody to follow me, if you know what I mean. Follow me with a camera, especially. Follow me with a camera. Wait a minute. What do you mean follow me with a camera? You know what I mean? I don't know. But I did enjoy that. I really did enjoy it. And bring it and share it with you guys. I'm going to do that better, and we'll do it some more, and I'll do it better. I want to now transition and talk about that game last week, the big game. Y'all know that big game I'm talking about. The Bills and the Chiefs. Y'all know that game, and I thought this was an interesting game because the take that comes out of it is, first of all, the Bills 30-21 when they beat the Chiefs 30-21, which I thought was very interesting. The Bills knew they could not leave this anywhere near a one-point game or a one-score game. So before they gave that ball back to Patrick Mahomes on that last drive, Josh Allen, they had a 4th and 2. Josh Allen takes the ball, drops back, looks up the field, and then takes off running on the right side. Gets the first down, makes a few moves, get all the way down to a touchdown. I'm watching that game. And that was the game sealing touchdown because it puts them up by 2 scores. Now, and it's a few minutes left, Patrick Mahomes got a drive, get a touchdown, come back. And that defense was playing good, and they couldn't do it. They got to Patrick Mahomes late, got a sack. Josh Allen, I say that they snatched it, MVP right out of Lamar Jackson's hands and placed it in his. And I'm going to tell you a big reason why. I looked at that play, that 4th and 2. I thought about this. I was talking about it with Key on the show one time, how the relationship between Josh and Diggs, like that 4th and 2 play was a perfect example for me. 4th and 2, the old Josh Allen with Stephon Diggs is going to look at Stephon Diggs and try to force that ball into him, may even throw an incompletion. But this new Josh Allen, without that concern on him, because now it's Amari Cooper who ain't going to be bothering you like that. So now 4th and 2, Josh Allen, you don't have to take a risk at passing the ball because that's not Stephon Diggs. That's Amari Cooper. Now you can do what you need to do with the ball, and that's what he did, hit that corner and scored that touchdown. That was the difference between having those different personalities at your number 1 receiver spot. Josh Allen is now able to be the full controller of that offense, and you are seeing the great benefits of that now that he's taken over. And I'm telling y'all, that start last year when I told everybody, y'all got to stop doing this to that man. When Stephon Diggs and the coach kept saying, think. I told them they have to stop. And I know somebody in their camp must have said it, and they stopped. And Josh now, he's just taking off. He's taking off. The Bills right now, along with Detroit, probably, if you say best 2 teams right now, AFC, NFC, it'll be Bills in Detroit. Bills in Detroit. Now, we all got to play the game, and Patrick Mahomes says in the end of all those games, I'm gonna get mine. But Josh Allen right now, I got to give the MVP. Let me give you guys the real now. I'll give you Josh's number. Josh's number the other day, 27 of 40, 262 yards, 1 TD, 1 interception. But he had 12 carries for 55 yards and a touchdown. And that game's clinching touchdown was a phenomenal run. Josh Allen for the season is because I have told you he took this MVP from Lamar Jackson. Josh Allen for the season, it's already thrown for 225-43, 2,543 yards, 64% completion percentage, 18 TDs and 5 interceptions, 5 rushing TDs. I mean, he is literally Superman for that football team and playing very well. Now, I know they've lost the game, the Chiefs. All the people in Miami, my brother-in-law and everybody, they're all happy because they're Miami fans. They were sending me pics of them holding the bottles up. You know what I mean? We're going to drink tonight because Miami the only undefeated team. But I think this is a blessing in disguise for the Chiefs because now the Chiefs refocus. I want to tell you guys something, man. When you're on a 7, 8, 9 game win streak, that thing is fun. And every Monday you come in, you win, you're looking at the film, but you're not analyzing it. You won. Nobody searched victory. We just celebrate victory. But we search defeat because it hurts. It's painful. And we want to know why it happened and what we had to do to make sure it doesn't happen. So we search it. And now they went the first 9 weeks playing ball, winning. Barely getting by, but winning. A lot of people holding that against the Chiefs. I don't. I give them credit for it because they are winning. Now they lose. And now those Monday meetings that were all fun and joking becomes, let's get back to attention. Let's get back to paying attention and let's get back to the details. Why did this happen? Why did this happen? Why did this happen? Why did this happen? You see that 07 Patriots team that went undefeated were blowing people out. They were blowing people out. And then when they got in a tight game, they couldn't pull it out. That's why the Giants beat them last. This team hasn't been blowing people out. They've been playing a lot of tight games, but winning games. Now, after that loss, I guarantee you see a different Chiefs team. I guarantee you they find a more steady offense. And I guarantee you, maybe even this week against Carolina, you're going to get some blowouts. You're going to get some blowouts. It's going to look that way anyway because it's going to get confirmed. They're going to focus in a little bit more this week. And then they're playing Carolina, who they should be pretty good. So now they'll give some confidence to the Chiefs refocusing for that stretch. Speaking of that stretch, the other big game last week, the Steelers beating the Ravens 18-16. Russell Wilson, let me see you. Russell Wilson, 23, 36, 205 yards and interception. Lamar Jackson, here's where 16 of 33, 207 yards, 1 TD, 1 interception. The Steelers defense held down 2 MVP candidates. I gave you Lamar Jackson numbers, but Derrick Henry was down also. He didn't do his customary run everything and run everybody over in that game also. And Lamar Jackson struggled. Lamar's so funny. We all got teams that we struggle with. Like, okay, the Bills beat the Chiefs, right? The Bills going into that game was 3-0 in the regular season against the Chiefs, 0-3 in the playoffs. We won another regular season game. You know what I mean? But we're gonna wait to measure you to the postseason where you're 0-3, not the regular season where you were 3-0 and now you're 4-0, right? Yeah, and stuff like that. So you know what I'm saying? That means we gotta get you to the playoffs, and that means for the Buffalo Bills, the best thing to do is get the Chiefs. I know they did it last year, but make them come to you. I know they went on the road last year and still won the Super Bowl, but make them do it again. That's what the Bills have to do. That's why they win for them was so important. And that's why this win for the Steelers over the Ravens was also important. We had the Ravens right now, the top offense, top team, one of the top teams, certainly the top team in that division. And what I've been telling people is, as you watch the Steelers offense get better and better and better, and that defense is always playing lights out. I told you the Steelers will have a good chance at beating the Chiefs because they have the ingredients that it takes. A quarterback that don't make mistakes. Don't make mistakes. And then I need you to get to the quarterback in the end. And they know how to get to Patrick Mahomes in the end. That's what Buffalo did. That's how Buffalo beat them. Von Miller got that play late, and the Steelers know how to get to. Look at what they did to Lamar Jackson. They were all over Lamar Jackson. So I'm telling you, the Steelers beating the Ravens, that was a huge game. Lamar Jackson has had problems going up against the Steelers. That's his kryptonite team. If he's going to be Superman, that's his kryptonite team. And I say this, you got to give so much credit to Mike Tomlin, guys. You got to give so much credit for what he's done. He was 4-2 with Justin Fields, went to Russell Wilson, and 3-0 with Russ. I mean, he's playing and doing great things, man. And what a man make that call. And I thought his call and his change got solidified. He put Justin Fields in the other day. They needed one first down to seal the game. Justin Fields take the ball. They didn't want to risk passing it because you stopped the clock. He takes the ball and runs around left end. He has 14 yards in front of him and only needs 10. And he's running. And he slides for what he believes to be the first down, gets up and gives it a first down. But he didn't realize they marked the ball where you started sliding, not where you finished. He was a yard short of the first down when they marked the ball. And if they didn't come up the next down and get a first down, they would have put that game in jeopardy. That would have been a crucial mental mistake by Justin Fields. He had the right idea, but he has to make sure he gets the first down because you had another 4 yards in front of you. Go make sure you got that first down. And then the game is over, for real. That's why, in that little short moment, it was Russell Wilson over Justin Fields. And I'm so glad it worked out because we would have crucified Justin Fields. And we would have been saying, that's why he's on the bench. And now that young kid still has a chance to have a career. Because I heard Russell Wilson talk about him today and say he's a great pro. He is a franchise quarterback. And Russell's job is to make sure he manage that offense and make sure they don't make mistakes, but also groom and grow Justin Fields. The Steelers trying to do the same thing I've been talking about, have a now and later. They want to have a player that can play it now and have a player that can play it later. The difference is the Steelers made Russell Wilson fit into their game plan. We got an established identity. We run the ball and we win with defense. We run the ball, win on defense. That's our established identity. Russell Wilson, you're a Super Bowl winning quarterback. All-Pro Super Bowl winning quarterback in your past. We're going to add you to this. They added Russell to what they do. Now, the antithesis was done in New York. New York said, we had a pretty good run game and pretty good defense. Aaron Rodgers, you're a Super Bowl winning quarterback, all-pro quarterback. We're going to let you come in here and run everything. Notice the difference. Mike Tomlin made Russell Wilson, the Super Bowl winning quarterback, come in and you could be a part of what we have established here, what we do. The Jets brought their Super Bowl winning quarterback in and said, take us there. We're going to do what you want us to do. And that's where the Jets messed up. The Jets should have said Aaron Rodgers. I know you, but they didn't have a traditional identity. They gave him everything and let him do everything, and none of it worked out. And now all of them have lost their jobs. Mike Tomlin gave his Super Bowl winning quarterback nothing. He said, "You better fight for this job." I'm not sure who's going to start. Then he named him a starter, and he said, "Fight for this job." And look how well that's going. Because he asked Russell, he made Russell join them. The Jets tried to make Aaron Rodgers. They joined Aaron Rodgers. And Aaron Rodgers' fight was against all the people that said he couldn't do it anymore. And now Aaron Rodgers is seeing they were right. But the Jets got sucked in to his fight. And now they have hell breaking loose everywhere. It'll be interesting to see what happens with Aaron Rodgers, because I know he's not going to want to leave like this. Speaking of Aaron Rodgers, the old man who said to the Bears, "I own you. I own you." He did own them, and the Packers beat the Bears 2019 on a blocked 46-yard field goal attempt again. Now, the Bears should have won this game. And everybody all over Coach right now, Eberflus, because he let the time run off that clock and he didn't try to get his team closer. And when that 46-yard field goal got blocked, oh my God, that thing got crazy. Everybody is all over him because it was just crazy. It's crazy play. I don't care if you hand the ball off or just run the ball there. He said he was worried about making a mistake and losing the opportunity to kick that game-winning field goal. I understand that, but, you know, you got to get them as close as you can. Now, also, I need you to make that 46-yard field goal. But this is what happens when your team is bad and going through hard times. It seems like all kind of shit just go bad when it goes bad. Packers beat them 20-19. Jordan Love 13-17. 261 yards, 1 TD, 1 interception. I'm telling you, him and Watson was throwing that ball all over the world, all over the field. Josh Jacobs had 76 yards and a TD. Caleb Williams went 23 of 31 for 231 yards. Caleb Williams looked better in the football game. And he really did. And it was interesting as I watched the game because I heard Troy talking about it. Who did that game? It was Troy. I heard the announcer talking about it. About how getting the ball out of his hands early on first down. Caleb had taken a number of sacks on first down. So that put them in long, tough situations like 2nd and 16, 2nd and 17. But this game, they got the ball out of his hands on first down real fast. Quick screen. Ball out. Just ball out. Go pick up 2-3 yards. Now he's not taking that sack. And he stayed above and stayed ahead of the chain, which made him play much better ball. They got a sense of an understanding. This new offensive coordinator, remember we talked about him, Thomas, that took over, he put in a pretty good plan. I like that plan. I like quick throws, ball out of your hand early on first downs, and give me second downs, manageable downs, third downs, manageable downs. Now we can keep playing the quick game, and when it doesn't work, when it's not there, then I add all of that other stuff that he does so well, the running around and trying to find players upfield. But you can't live in that area. You just got to visit it when you can't, when the quick game and everything is not working. So I saw a bit of a plan. I want to see them do that some more and some more as they go. Let's go over that preview a little bit of that Thursday night game, and then I want to do some overreaction and reasonable reactions with you about this last week. Steelers at Cleveland. I do it because it's the Thursday night game, and I look forward to starting the week. But I don't see anything going on with Cleveland. These games are division games, and they're always good games. But right here is where like a team like the Steelers have to be real careful. You come off a very emotional, big-time win against the Ravens, and now you're going in Cleveland to play Cleveland. They're at 2-8 already. No Deshaun Watson and Jameis Winston up and down. One good game, they kind of up and down game. If it wasn't Mike Tomlin, who's a lot like Jimmy Johnson to me, he guards the weak areas. He'll talk about this. I would be calling this a trap game if Mike Tomlin wasn't a coach. But Mike Tomlin will have them ready because he knows when you have a big win like this, let me be harder on you this week. That's what Jimmy always did. A big win, let me make sure you know you ain't nobody and be hard on you, because if you think you're feeling real good about yourself, somebody like Cleveland will come in and beat you. That's the great coaches. They know how to get you back down on the ground. And I want to see how Coach Tomlin brings them back to center before Thursday so they can get focused back on the task of beating a 2-8 Cleveland Browns team that's not going anywhere and really ready to go home. Not just for the season. Don't even know what they're going to do next season, because I just don't see how Deshaun Watson's coming back there. There's a lot going on in Cleveland that they got to work out. No way Mike Tomlin let this game get away. Let's go to the overreaction or reasonable reaction around the National Football League. Now, we already played on the first one I got going over here, and that says the Lions are the best team in the NFL. They are playing the best in the NFL. I want to share with you an analogy I used earlier that I think is apropos here when I talk about the Lions, because I always think of the Lions early on in our early years. Reminded me a lot of that team, our early years. And I had Emmett, Alvin, Harper. We had talent everywhere, and Troy got hurt. And we went on a 7-game run, with 7 or 8 games run, with Steve Berline, right into the playoffs. Won the first playoff game, I think that was Chicago, and then got to Detroit. Troy was ready to play, but Jimmy was trying to decide who to start. He started Steve Berline over Troy, and we lost that game. Troy came in late in that game, but it was already lost, and we lost that game, went home. The next year, we came back with Troy the whole way. Of course, that's when we became a dynasty. When I look at the Detroit Lions, I see both of those teams. I see the team that won those games, they make it to the playoffs with Steve Berline. And I can see the team that became a dynasty with Troy Aikman. Now, I tell you this to say, Steve Berline was a great friend of mine and a very good quarterback. And with that team, we could have won a lot of games. We won some playoff games. And we may even have won a Super Bowl. But it wouldn't have been a dynasty. With Troy, it's a bona fide dynasty. Now, Jared Goff. Jared Goff, like Troy, was the first pick in the draft. A high draft pick. Jared Goff has an ability. He can play at the Steve Berline level, or he can play at the Troy Aikman level. Which level Jared Goff goes to will tell you the level and the level of accomplishments that Detroit Lions will have. If Jared Goff goes to have those Steve Berline's career not just Berline threw interceptions. He didn't throw a lot of interceptions, but we saw Jared throw 5 the other day. You see what I'm saying? If it's the lesser Jared Goff, then y'all will win a lot of games, but you never win. You may even win one Super Bowl, get to a Super Bowl, but you may not win it. Like Jared Goff got to the Super Bowl before. And then his own head coach said, no. You can't win a Super Bowl. I got to trade you out And he sent him to Detroit and took in Matthew Stafford and won a Super Bowl. So Jared Goff has a stain on him. Everybody keeps talking about he's playing with a chip on his shoulder. He needs to play with a chip on his shoulder to remove that stain out of that. That stain off him. I'll keep it clean. To remove that stain off him. So if he continues to play well, he's playing well this year. Jared Goff has some games where he had 2 or 3 games with over 80 completion percentage. That's insane. I think 3 of them, over 2 or 3 of them this season. That's insane. So he has the ability in his offense. This offense fits him better than the thing they did in the Rams, because the Rams, they were going upfield. Jared Goff likes to dink and dunk and move the ball down the field. And when he does that, he's very effective. If he's that Jared Goff, Detroit can be a dynasty, like we were. But if he's the Jared Goff that comes up short, Detroit will win some games and maybe even get into a Super Bowl. But they won't ever be a dynasty. It all depends on the play of the quarterback. And I got to see it both ways when I was with the Dallas Cowboys. Let's go. So, are they the best team? Absolutely. They are the best team right now when you see it. But how good that best is and how much they win, not just this year, but even moving forward, straight on the chip and the stain that is on the shoulders of Jared Goff. Let me get to the next one. Bo Nix is the most underrated rookie this year. Overreaction or reasonable reaction? That's just Bo Nix this season, 65% completion percentage, 2,275 yards, 14 TDs, 6 interceptions. My most underrated rookie this season. I don't know if I would say underrated, but I will say this. Distance travel, you give him credit. That means when you look at, they had $30, $40 million dead money because of Russell Wilson gone somewhere, and Russell Wilson got kicked out. And what they were doing, bringing in this young guy. At the beginning of the year, Coach saying he had some Ferris Bueller in him or whatever, making all kind of whatever he said, making bad decisions and everything. Got to get some of that stuff out of him. To be right here is pretty simply incredible, because people in Denver, they feel very good about what they have. And the quarterback whisper is back to being the quarterback whisper. He's raising the quarterback again. Remember, he lost that when he tried to raise back up Russell. But look, Russell landed in a good spot, and the whisper got him a quarterback now, and Denver is headed in the right direction. I'm telling you, I see a lot of people giving Bo Nix a lot of credit because they saw that same journey I just saw. So I'm going to say that's an overreaction to all of that. Dirty Sanchez. This YouTube might say what you want. Great channel. You're right. I can't get dirty and nasty. I was about to say something too. Not dirty and nasty, but you can just be right with it. I don't have to be clean. And I'm kind of getting away with that. I like that. You know what I mean? Hey, Mike, what is your favorite memory when you played for Jimmy? Man, I had so many great memories. Rice, man. Rice Doge. I had so many great memories, man. Honestly, man. Man. I think I told y'all about how coach messed with me when he gave me the number 47. We always laugh about that, because I didn't want to wear 47 in college. I wanted to wear number 7. Number 7. I said, Coach, we wear 7, man. I said, this number is not right. It's 47 now. He said, man, let me tell you what I see. Man, I see Michael Irvin, man. You be catching that ball, man. You running down there. You look like a 747 coming down the field, landing in the end zone. And I was like a kid. I'm like, oh, my God. yeah, coach, I'm going to take this number, I'm going to keep it, I'm going to turn it into something. I took the number, and, years later, after we had won a Super Bowl, we were having a drink, and coach said to me, ladies, man, I can't believe you brought that story. I said, what do you mean? He said that 47 story back in college. He was like, he said, I don't know where I came up with that from, but you bought it and you left out of there so happy. 47, I had a new look on 47. I said, 747. Coming down the runway, about to land in the end zone for a touchdown. I always remember that. I remember, too, when I got into my second fight, right? First fight I got in the first day I was there, I thought he was going to send me right back home, right back to the ghetto. Man, I was so scared, And then he was like, we can't have this. Michael, I'm not going to punish you. I'm not going to send you home. I'm going to stay with you. I know I just lost my father. And my high school coach had said, I know you're struggling. George Smith told me all about it and what you went through with your father. He said, I want you to know, son, I'm going to be here as long as you are here. I'm going to look after you. But we can't be fighting our own teammates. A couple of days later, I break a teammate's jaw in a fight. And he called me in the room, and I said, that's it. I remember calling on my way walking, going to his office. I called my family and said, man, I think I may get sent home today. And when they were like, what, for what? I said, man, it's just fighting and everything. I'm just fighting. Because I was there on a mission, and the guys were trying to, do rook freshman stuff and intimidate me. And I was like, we're not going for that. And so I would get in these fights, man. And in the second fight I got in, I just knew he was going to send me home. And Jimmy, when he called me in, he said, I just told you we can't do this, son. He said, now listen. And I thought he was going to send me home. He said, I want to talk to you about something right now. He said, that's a hell of a right you got. Have you ever thought about boxing? I'm like, what are you talking about? He asked, because he's a big boxing fan, so he asked me about boxing. Of course, box coach. I didn't think about no boxing. What do you mean, man? I'm just trying to just keep me here in school. And I started crying because I thought he was going to send me home. And he said, calm down, son. I'm not sending you home. I told you I'm going to be here with you and get you through this. And that brought up my greatest memory with Jimmy. And it was actually when he got his Hall of Fame ring. And I was sitting there in the stadium in Dallas, and I've never seen him that happy. I've seen Coach win championships. I've been with him on multiple levels, college and NFL. I've never seen him that happy as he was that day. And I remember just watching him and crying, because that's what I thought about. That's what I thought about. Like, man, he was like my father, since I had lost my father. And every day I would watch him on the sideline. I would go play so hard because I know he hated losing. Oh, my God, we didn't lose much at Miami, but when we did, he hated it, and it hurts him so much. So I sat in back of him, and I saw him so happy, and I was just crying because I couldn't believe that moment. Troy Emmett was with me, Charles Haley, and we were just so incredibly moved by the moment. All I could think about was, he should have sent me home. I should not be in that Hall of Fame with him. I should not have won those Super Bowls. He should have sent me home. I did everything to get sent home. And he stuck by me like he said he would. Watching him get that was my greatest moment with Jimmy. I won national championships and Super Bowls with him. But that was my greatest moment because he ensured us success together by keeping me right there. As he said, he never left me. He never left and he never kicked me out. So I love him to death. I still live on everything he's given me. So to that and to the locker room, I tell you guys this, as I get ready to depart, find your coach. Find your coach. No matter what, we all need that coach. I'm gonna tell you, who's your coach? If you are anyone that's pouring into anybody, that means you are giving. You're giving of yourself. You're trying to motivate, mentor, move, help, guide. You're giving. You need someone to make sure they're giving to you. You know, find you that coach that knows how to pull the best out of you. That person that believes in you and believes the great things are down inside of you. And watch how you pull them out. Watch how they reach down inside that kid and help pull up that child. I want to thank you guys for joining me here on the YouTube channel right here, on my Michael Irvin YouTube channel. And I want to thank you guys for being in the locker room. Chappelle, I know if we get Deion Sanders, Jerry Jones better let Deion Sanders have full reign. It wouldn't be a problem. I answered for it wouldn't be a problem because remember now, Deion, that's how he coaches. He wants everybody to be who they are. Man, we have a concert in the locker room after they win. And I want you guys to understand something. That's brilliant. You know, those players are sitting there. They have so much fun after the victory. They have so much fun after the victory in the locker room. Think about that. In the game, you want that to happen when you know we're about to have some fun. You use that late in the game. You want that to happen because you said, man, we have so much fun in that locker room after the game. Man, let's make sure we win these games. It's brilliance. That's all I'm saying. Just brilliant stuff, man, and putting them together. That's what Deion is, just like Jimmy, reaching down inside of kids and help pulling up their king. I'll see you guys next. Well, I'll be talking to you all week, but we'll sit here and chat again next week. Same bat channel, same bat time. God bless. Locker room.